conversation, we head to the crypto space with a very red board and Ladi. Maybe we shouldn't have had Ladi.
Maybe Ladi.
We haven't been around and we haven't had this
green,
much red. You know, so I don't know.
And the bears show up.
Go away with your red.
The bears show up too. But it's not so bad. It's just, still around.
Still at 51.
Still around 52,000 if you, look at 995.
Almost 51.
Almost 52,000 at this point.
The glass is half full or half empty.
Half full.
But I learned we may hit 69 before the halving impact comes.
Yeah, there's so many prices, being thrown around at this time.
This is before the halving.
Before the halving.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you've been in this market long enough, you know that the halving always has an impact, on price. So, but things change sometimes. So you need to manage
one of the analysts we spoke to also said that perhaps investors or the market is already fixing in the impact of the halving. So the halving might just come and we don't see such a move or big move.
And this market,
priced in.
Sometimes you sell the news, when it actually comes, and there you see a drawback.
By the rumors.
On that asset class. But it's interesting times for Bitcoin.
Very interesting.
We'll see if this bullish sentiment continues. But it's a pullback. Yeah, we're seeing some profit taking there with red on the board at this time. See Ethereum trying to get above that $3,000 mark per coin, 0.26% down. But we're seeing this from 12 noon today. These are numbers we have. Let's look at the top stories today in the market. And you see it's still a greedy market, 72 points over 100, showing that investors are still quite greedy in this market. To some of the headlines now, we see BlackRock, big asset manager, one of the biggest in the world at this point. They've launched the iShares Bitcoin Trust ad. At this point, it's the world's largest asset manager, and they are looking quite bullish, on Bitcoin at this time with a campaign targeting, mainstreaming investors. And we've seen analysts actually reacting to that. If you put up that tweet, I see the campaign there that BlackRock is putting up for Bitcoin. They did, tweet the picture saying Bitcoin, has landed. So if you can put up that tweet, you see it there. Bitcoin Trust ad by BlackRock. Then moving on now, we see the UK set to release crypto legislation. That's coming in about 6 months. This is basically about stablecoin legislation. We see the economic secretary in the UK there announcing the intent to pass the new laws before the upcoming general election. So expectations remain vague on specific details, about regulation for stablecoins, but definitely markets will be looking out for that. Then talking about stablecoins, Africa, there's some observation that's showing that Africa prefers USD stablecoins to Bitcoin itself. You've seen prominent, figures in the crypto space. They've shown that they've seen a notable pattern within African crypto market, showing a growing preference, among Africans for US dollar-backed stablecoins over Bitcoin. I'm sure it's the volatility with Bitcoin that keeps them away at this point and gives them more preference for the stable coins. Who doesn't like a stable asset, at this point? Let's bring in Rume Ofinau, financial market analyst. Hello, Rume. Great to have you.
Ladi, good afternoon.
Yeah, so, a lot's going on at this point. The biggest asset manager, BlackRock there, it seems that they're going hard now to attract customers to their ETF. How are you seeing this?
It's a very welcome development, Ladi, making sure that crypto appears as one of the asset class having this very strong legitimacy. For now, we're discussing here about Bitcoin either being for criminals or riskier asset here and there. But the fact that the biggest and the best is coming in to make ads to people, not necessarily physical Bitcoin, but helping them to get Bitcoin through the Bitcoin spot ETF, it makes a whole lot of sense. We're targeting at the baby boomers, those in their 60s, and only makes sense because these people don't see realities around the digital assets. There's a new world we're living, and a whole lot of things actually is changing right about now. But on the flip side, where I have a very huge challenge with all of these ETF things is all of them, a lot of them are from the US, and it only makes the influence, more influence from the US economy. So there is a drawdown in the US economy, which is actually signaling now from the CPI and PPI figures that came out hot. It only means that we might be some slow liquidity in the crypto ecosystem. Because right about now, with all of this that are happening, centralized exchange platforms like Coinbase, Kraken, and the likes from the US have recorded some really huge market volumes coming in where the market depth was around 14%, but now has grown to about 48%. So let's not allow the US drive the market when the time comes. Let's also have some way to balance it. And one other thing that I like to talk about is retail investors are not in this market for now, because it's not showing even in the Google trend, all right? Because all of these big investors actually like to put around 1% of their investment portfolio in the ETFs.
Right, and definitely you did mention US taking the lead when it comes to the Bitcoin ETFs. But do you see any other continent following? Let's take Africa, for instance. Are you seeing any ETF coming from any capital market in Africa?
I don't see it for now, but in the future, I'm really, really optimistic. But the couple of young people that we're having that are really, really, really involved in technology, quoting the Minister for Communication and Digital Economy some days ago was saying Nigerians are going to be exporting tech experts even more than India. It shows that in the crypto space, we're going to be doing more. And all of these young people are also going to be the one in the financial sector to say, okay, we're going to need ETF. But in the short to medium term, I really don't see this happening really quick, because we don't have a couple of things in place. We don't have the laws regulating and giving proper clarity, even though the CBN has come to say, oh, these are guidelines before banning the ban that has been for a while now. SEC hasn't come up with anything. National Assembly members don't even go talking about anything in regards to digital assets, where their counterparts are talking about how to regulate stablecoin, AI, and a couple of other things. It shows that if we don't get it right, the idea of spot Bitcoin ETF coming in is going to really hurt our financial system.
Yeah, but I guess Nigeria, did well being the first to launch the central bank digital currency. That's the Naira. So I think we took the first step, when it comes to that one. Let's look at some other observations we've seen in the market now. We're seeing that Africa prefers stable coins to Bitcoin. At this point, when it comes to the P2P market, definitely the alluring image of stability. I guess that's what's attracting consumers to that.
Exactly. I think it's not just about Africa now. So third world countries, most especially, prefer the usage of stable coins like USDT, USDC, and likes. It also has its downside using stable coins. Sometimes we had what happened towards 2022, where a stable coin an algorithmic stable coin actually pegged. It can happen to any of these stable coins. For example, USD Theta has been having one or two issues right here. And if it doesn't go well and it has some challenges, it's going to also affect it. So the question is, how stable is stablecoin? But they have been doing well for a while now. They have been helping people save their liquidity in order to be able to buy cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which is the flagship, effectively. So it stems to the currency of these countries not being stable because of probably bad economic policy and some other things that are happening. That is why most times I like to encourage people to build an ecosystem that benefits their country. We cannot be, even though we have challenges, we cannot be pricing some very basic things in dollars. It helps to weaken our currency. But away from that, it's still going to happen. It also, again, calls for the authorities to regulate the use of stablecoins, because that's a different economy entirely. To allow it to be free for all, not having a cap to stablecoin usage in the continent, not just Nigeria now, it's going to render some of these other indigenous currency useless. Considering the fact that out of Africa, none of these currencies are used for international settlement, which is one of my pain, and I like to say, all right, so we need to start working to see how we can strengthen our currency, even though challenges is right there and here already. So we just need to work around that to see how we can help to build our own ecosystem using our own stablecoin, probably building something around that can save our currency.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we this is our national treasure. At this point, we need to do all we can to strengthen the Naira. I did get a peek at the P2P market rates, and it's looking quite weak. At this point, talk to me about other ways that this P2P market can actually be some kind of support, to the Naira, because at the end of the day, it's still looking like it kind of like contributes to the weakness.
I wouldn't say it contributes heavily to the weakness, because you actually just very minute amount of young people don't have the data right now that are involved in all of these transactions. People that are actually heavy in volume with the US dollar bill, also you most likely prefer using BDCs, doing volumes here and there. So just a small percentage of young people and some older ones alike are the ones using. So I wouldn't want to say that it's enough to put pressure. But going forward, there needs to be more collaborations with P2P transactions that has come to stay and is going to be part of the global economy. There needs to be some kind of engagement with those involved in the industry and government agencies to come to have a roundtable. All of these are going to form more or less like a template, a framework where we are going to agree on how to move forward. Because the truth is, even though some individuals are happy in some sort that, the Naira to the dollar is high and they are holding more of the dollar, it also hurts, because if you go to the grocery shop, you're still going to buy things more expensive, even though you're paying more of the Naira. You're going to buy things more expensive. You still have relatives that are still going to complain of terrible economic situations in our country. So no one is isolated from all of these things. So I'm being positive here. There need to be roundtable discussions with a couple of us that are here and those in the helm of affairs to see how we can find a way to have a structure where some of these things can work side by side in order for us to all win. Because the idea is we all need to win. If we don't win as individuals and as government, it's also going to be a challenge for us. We have just one economy, which is the Nigerian economy. I don't know of any other economy, and this is our priority, and we have to build it.
Yeah, I guess we all have to, at some point, come together at this time, because we need to keep the Naira strong. I see the rates right there in the P2P market is not looking good at all. But thank you so much.
I can't even talk about it because it's very hurtful.
Doesn't look good. Hashtag strengthen the Naira. Thank you so much, Romeo. It was great having you.
Thank you, Laddie. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, so there you have it, at this point, we all need to appeal to our sense of, nationalism at this point, because, it's our pride here. The Naira is our pride. We cannot
hashtag strengthen the Naira.
Hashtag strengthen the Naira at this point.
I think if we intentionally work with that at all levels, not just the government, but also individuals, I guess we could achieve something. So maybe, Laddie, you should drive that hashtag strengthen the Naira.
Because I do not want to see a 2,000 Naira. I don't want to see that.
We're so close to that. It's so scary.
It's too close,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much, Laddie. Good to have you back.
Thank you.